Grateful for the morning, grateful for the sunlight on my face, grateful for the feeling, grateful for the knowing, grateful for the love that's in this place, grateful for believing that God is all there is, that God is all there is. Grateful for this morning, grateful for the sunlight on my face. I'm grateful for the feeling, grateful for the knowing, grateful for the love that's in this place, grateful for believing that God is all there is, that God is all there is. Grateful for the morning, grateful for the sunlight on my face, grateful for the feeling, grateful for the knowing, grateful for the love that's in this place, grateful for believing that God is all there is, God is all there is, that God is all there is, God is all there is.
Oh, Sandra, that was beautiful. Oh, how could we not be anything but grateful after that? That was just fantastic. Good morning, beautiful people. Have you noticed that there are changes? Now, we've been talking about doing things differently in the center. And we're not just talking, we are moving and shaking. And while Jeff gets ready, give him a hand because him and Julie have been working their little tails off to recreate all of these wonderful things that are happening. You're going to notice some changes in our order of service today. That's okay. I think you'll like them. My name is Stephanie. It is my great pleasure to welcome you today. For all of you who are here and to our worldwide online community, to the Unity Center of North Spokane, where we are dedicated to touching hearts and transforming lives. And we will be changing this slide this week to reflect that. One more change. Now, if you would take a moment to make sure that your cell phones are silenced, that would be greatly appreciated. We begin our time together by sharing our opening affirmation. Together we affirm, there is only one presence and one power active in my life and in the universe, God the good. This is Unity's foundation principle. One presence, one power, one life, living through each one of us. At this time, I'd like to invite you to greet your neighbors. Just remember that some people might not be huggers, so, maybe a handshake or a fist bump or a namaste. But please greet one another and then stay standing because Sandra will be leading us in our community song. morning. Good morning.
Joe.
Hi, Joe. Pleasure to meet
Carol.
you. Hi, Carol. Let's do it. Yeah.
All right.
Get ready to raise those beautiful voices in song. The Spirit's calling.
We've done this before, but not as a community sing. So here we go. Spirit calls, come up higher. Spirit calls, sing I believe. Spirit calls, come up higher. Love lifts us high and sets us free. Spirit calls, come up higher. Spirit calls, sing I believe. Spirit calls, come up higher. Love lifts us high and sets us free. Sets us free from all lack or limitation. Sets us free to realize who we can be. We are made in the image and the likeness of God. Spirit calls, so stand up and believe. Spirit calls, come up higher. Spirit calls, sing I believe. Spirit calls, come up higher. Love lifts us high and sets us free. Spirit calls, come up higher. Spirit calls, sing I believe. Spirit calls, come up higher. Love lifts us high and sets us free. Sets us free from all lack or limitation. Sets us free to realize who we can be. We are made in the image and the likeness of God. Spirit calls, so stand up and believe. Spirit calls, come up higher. Spirit calls, sing I believe. Spirit calls, come up higher. Love lifts us high and sets us free. Spirit calls, Spirit calls, Spirit calls. Love lifts us high and sets us free. Spirit calls, Spirit calls, Spirit calls. Love lifts us high and sets us free. And one more, lifts us high and sets us free. We'll get it.
Fabulous. Now, this morning, our spiritual leader, Jeff Tawney, will share his talk on oh goodness, Jeff, I'm so sorry. The spiritual lessons of fall. I just had a moment. Sorry about that. The spiritual lessons of fall and letting go of fear of having a moment. So please give him a warm welcome, and then we are going to prepare for meditation.
If you're new to meditation, what we are doing as a collective is we're going to center ourselves and give ourselves an opportunity to all be together in our hearts and in our presence. All right. Oh, sorry, Larry, you didn't hear me, did you? And so we do this through meditation, and it's an opportunity for us to come in sync with our breath, come in sync with our consciousness, and it gives us, in some places, they'll do like what they call a centering prayer, which brings us all to a center. I know that some of you are coming here today with heavy hearts. Maybe there's been a loss of a loved one. there's been a loss of a relationship, loss of a job. I mean, there's all kinds of things that we come together with, and we walk through the doors and we put a smile on our face, but we're not always here in our hearts. And so this is an opportunity for us to recognize that time and bring ourselves together as one. So if you'll all just close your eyes, and let's take a deep breath together. Let's do another together. Relax your hands. Let your shoulders fall. Just relax. Feel yourself fall into the seat of your chair. Your back firmly rest against the seat back. Let those things that may be of concern to you or worry or things that you're feeling anxious about, let's just put them aside. Just set them down. This is a time not for your mind to be busy, but for your heart to be engaged. See those thoughts and those anxieties just fall from the tree like fallen leaves. They just flutter to the ground. We recognize the divinity in each one of us. We are all connected. We are all part of the same source. We all need the same things to live, right? Breathing, need air, nutrition. And just recognize those things that we all have in common. I have a cousin who is biracial, and he started a business called Pink Underneath. And just think about that. It's not about what's on the outside. It's who we are on the inside. Just letting go. Being presence in this space. Together. Spirit calls to lift us higher. Lift us out of this day-to-day stuff that we deal with into a higher consciousness. Come back together. Everyone take a deep breath in and exhale. Another deep breath in and exhale. Thank you, God. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, universe. May this time be a time of connection. As we say together, and so it is. Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome. I got up this morning. Actually, I went to bed last night, and I was in a lot of pain. We moved these stage pieces, and I didn't think they were that big, but when I turned one over and realized it was made out of 2x6s, Julie said, "This one feels heavier for some reason." And I go, "That one's made out of 2x6s. The other one was made out of 2x4s." So it was fun. Anyways, I was a little sore this morning when I woke up. And I'm glad you guys all remember to turn your clocks back and not show up here an hour earlier. I thought, wouldn't it be cool if in addition we could set our clock, when setting our clocks back, recognizing wintertime, right? Shorter days and longer nights. Wouldn't it be great if we could turn our scales back? Like instead of, and recognizing, see, I've had a saying since moving here, that snow makes you grow. Okay, because I'm less active. I have to find more ways to be active. And so you got to take up, I'm not a skier. I used to be a skier, broke my leg, and, there were some difficulties from that. But like taking up snowshoeing and cross-country skiing and doing things. But I have to put a lot of effort into making that happen. So it'd be really great if we could just in addition to turning our clocks back, we could turn our scales back, say 10 pounds. I wouldn't be asking for much, just 10 pounds. And I think it would be great. And then when the springtime comes, we could put them back to where they need to be, and then recognize, okay, I need to be a little more active because that snow time engaged me. So anyways, I thought about that. So after a rainstorm, these two little boys were all anxious, and so the mom decided that she was going to let the boys out and let them go play. And so she looked out in the backyard, and she noticed there was a big mud puddle. So she told the boys, she goes, "Look, you can play in the backyard, but just stay out of the mud puddle." So the boys were out there a little bit, and they got real quiet, and she looked out the window, and she saw the one brother holding the other brother in the mud puddle, face down. And she said, "Oh, no." So she goes out, and she goes to the older little boy, and she says, "I thought I told you to stay out of the mud puddle." And the little boy looks at her, and he says, and the little boy that had the mud all over his face in the water, he was laughing and giggling. She's like, "I thought I told you boys to stay out of the mud puddle." And she said, and the oldest little boy says, "Well, Mom, we're just doing what we see in church." And she's like, "What do you mean what you see in church? Explain this to me." And the oldest little boy says, "Well, they take, the pastor takes one person and he holds them into the water, and he says, 'In the name of the Father,' and in the hole he goes." In the 12 powers of man, November's power is elimination or release. And you'll notice, and the color for that in our rainbow of colors is brown. I didn't pick it, but that's the color that it was. The power of elimination, meaning release, renunciation, remove, denounce, deny, to let go. The disciple who represents this is Thaddeus, and the woman who represents this is Bathsheba, David's wife, and also the mother of Solomon. The region of our body that represents release is our abdomen, right? Which is odd because during the month of November we have Thanksgiving, which is filling our abdomen, but okay. The denial that we that we state is, I release all guilt and unforgiveness toward others and myself. And the affirmation that we say is, I let God's peace into my life. I make room for my good. It is also Native American Heritage Month, which I'm going to be talking about in a couple of weeks. So when we talk about fall, one fun fact is in most European countries, they use the term autumn to refer to this time of year. The fall dates back to the 1500s when the American English referred to this time as the time of fall of the leaf. And so, which ultimately that became fall. And so consequently the time between winter and summer is, and then consequently the time between winter and summer is called spring of the leaf. So you have fall of the leaf and spring of the leaf. I thought that was interesting. So we look at other celebrations around the world as it relates to the fall time. In China, they have the Mid-Autumn Festival, also known as the Moon Festival. Families gather together to appreciate and give thanks for the year's harvest. Then we have a celebration that's done in Mexico, which we celebrated last week, Dia de los Muertos, which is translated to Day of the Dead. And that is, participants and family members get together to celebrate the lives of loved ones. That is such a beautiful, and I want to thank those of you that were there last week. Some of you were there, I didn't even see you, but it was a wonderful celebration. I will have to tell you that I had several messages from people here and also from South Hill people amazed at our community. I actually had someone tell me that the Northerners really showed up. And that makes me proud of you. Because we participated, and I think maybe there was this idea that, we were just going to put food on or whatever, right? But like we showed up, not only in decorating, but in preparing, and we prepared food with Katie's kids, and we served that food, and you guys just did an absolute amazing job, and I was very proud to go there and have those comments. I was also proud of some of the comments that I got from people of how meaningful it was in this day and time where there's a lot of information trying to divide people and look down or cast aspersions about someone's identity. I actually had somebody that was Mexican-American comment to me that they actually felt welcomed and gave them hope. That in this community, we could recognize, forget about the differences, we were actually going to recognize something that was important to her and her family. India, they have Diwali, Festival of Lights. They celebrate that 5 days in either October or November. In Germany, there's Oktoberfest. And I did a little searching on Oktoberfest because I was like, okay, what's the root of it? Because we all know what Oktoberfest is about. Right? Beer, right? It's drinking beer. We went to a German festival last night. I got invited by one of the members here. Sandra and Nancy were there. And they had these big steins, and these Germans were drinking out of these big steins. There was just no way I could drink and drive after one of those things. But it's interesting that German Fest was originated, doesn't give me the date, but it was basically the marriage between the Crown Prince of Bavaria, who later became King Louis, I guess. And the celebration lasts 2 weeks. So I don't know if that includes a hangover or if the actual celebration goes beyond that. But anyways, in Korea, they celebrate Chuseok. And that's Korean's version of Thanksgiving. It's a 3-day festival celebrated at the first full moon of the 8th month of the lunar calendar. Koreans gather together and savor the fruits in their harvest. In Japan, it's Kawasaki, which I used to ride Kawasaki, so I thought that was fun. But it's not about motorcycles. It's actually a Halloween parade, and it showcases some of the more creepy creativity there. And then in Ireland, it's Samhain. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. It's an ancient Celtic tradition. Is said to be the root of what is considered Halloween today. There are bonfires, festivals, and perhaps what is most notable is a fruitcake called barmbrack that acts as a fortune-telling game, where the loaves contain tokens that signify a meaning such as wealth or marriage. I moved up here about 6 years ago, it's actually been 6 years. And one of the things that I was extremely grateful about Spokane and the Pacific Northwest was having seasons. Believe it or not. Now, I know some people, like when winter comes, they go, right? And my first year here, I had 16 inches of snow pretty much throughout the whole winter. And every day, I think my friends in California were like, just stop it already. But it would be, look, it's snowing, 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 snowing. And it was just so exciting for me to actually have a beginning. A season to me was a beginning and an end. And then a transition to another beginning and an end. And another transition to a beginning and a cycle, right? And so where I came from, you had 2 cycles. It was pretty much fall and summer because it never really got that cold. We didn't have that much rain. And then, of course, summers were brutal. It'd be, anywhere from 115 degrees for 30 to 45 days. I mean, that's brutal. When I came and people were complaining about, it's 95. Oh, my gosh, it's 95 today. I better stay inside. I'm like, are you kidding me? This is nothing. So that was one of the things that I was very, very grateful for, was having those different beginnings and ends. So I want to talk a little bit about what spiritual lessons can we learn from fall. The first one that comes to mind is letting go and surrender. Trees shed their leaves, reminding us that releasing what no longer serves us, whether old habits, grudges, or attachments, it's essential for growth. Just as nature surrenders the changing seasons, we are invited to trust life cycles, recognizing that letting go is part of renewal. Fall is a time of withdrawal, letting go of the past. When things in your life are ready to fall away, things no longer serve us, they start to turn a color, and they've lost their appeal. Now, this is something that we're going through in our home in the last couple of weeks as we're going into winter, and you get rid of the summer clothes, and we have a small home and small closet, so the off-season clothes go into a storage area under the bed, and then whatever we transition out. So we made that transition about 2 weeks ago, I guess it was, and I brought out all this winter stuff, and as I'm putting stuff away, I'm like, I didn't even know that shirt was in there. I don't even really wear it anymore. So it's lost its appeal, and it's time to let it go, right? And in that letting go, that release has the opportunity to bless someone else. Because now someone else has the ability, give them the ability to enjoy the energy and the look of that. Maybe it's an old shirt, an old skirt. Julie actually released 3 pairs of shoes today, 3 boots. She's like, yeah, I was the same way. Yeah, she had three boots, and I'm like, honey, I like those boots on you. And she goes, they hurt my feet, so why do I wear them? Because they hurt my feet. Well, okay, that's good enough for me. The other thing that we hold is, as the leaves fall, we have found a joy, believe it or not, we have found a joy in raking leaves. Okay, we have 4 big trees, big maple trees in and around our home. Our neighbor has all the trees, but for some reason they always seem to blow in our place. But I purchased a big blower, an electric blower, about 4 or 5 months ago, and it's a race to who can get home first and blow the leaves into a pile. I am not kidding you. If we just enjoy taking what looks messy and then blowing everything into a pile to stand back and look how nice it is. And the neighbor's been, at least the neighbor that has all the trees has been gracious enough to say, if you want to take those and haul them into my backyard, I'll put them in the compost pile and you can compost them there. So that's been a nice blessing. But the idea of seeing something messy and then being able to do something with it, right, is transformative. So we could look at maybe some of the things that have fallen in our lives that don't serve us, that are messy. It's our opportunity to clean those up, right? It's an opportunity to let those things go and move forward. Another lesson that we can learn from fall, spiritual lesson, is a transformation through loss. Now, fall time is a transformation. Obviously, leaves die and decay. But what happens when they fall is the opportunity for nourishment. Because those leaves can go into a composting pile, and they can serve as compost for the soil. We have loss and ending in our lives, which could be a relationship, could be jobs, could be ideas, or could be a dream. All of that can lead to new beginnings and spiritual growth. Now, I had a dream some years ago about this business model that I wanted, and I pretty much let it go. And I was like, okay, I didn't let it go in that, like, never to ever happen again. But for me, it was one of those things like, I just need to let go of this because me trying to make it happen isn't going to happen. And you all know the story that the day that I said to the center that I would accept take the role of being your spiritual leader, that dream resurfaced and is now coming true. And I really believe that it was me being able to let go and take the pressure off of trying to make it happen to just allowing Spirit to make it happen. This season teaches us to see these endings not as failures, but as stages of transformation. With the loss of leaves, it becomes much easier to prune and care for the trees. Another amazing thing about nature. And we learn about the divine, and we learn about the cycle and the ecosystem, that the trees need pruning. Our plants need pruning. But it's difficult to do that when they're full of leaves or they're full of foliage, right? So when the leaves fall, it reveals to us the true shape of something and those things that we need to prune back, or we need to take care of. The other thing that I think is amazing about that, in the way nature is like when those leaves are no longer there, they no longer become a holding place for snow or for ice, protecting the plant. Nature is amazing. And we see what is necessary and what is not. Another thing that we learn from the spiritual lesson of fall is a preparation for stillness. Animals prepare for hibernation. Nature slows down, and we too can sense the need to turn inward. The nights are longer. The darkness there's more darkness. And darkness usually means a time of rest, right? It's hard for me to get enough sleep during the summertime because the days are so long and the nights are so short. And so it's hard for me to go to bed at 9 o'clock because it was just light like a half hour ago. It's not time for bed. So it's a go time, right? And it's a time to, we have plenty of light during the course of our day, so we have time to do work around the house or jobs or whatever. But winter brings on a different kind of attitude. It brings on the attitude of slowing down and resting. And so we too can turn inward into ourselves and encourage introspection, rest, preparing for a much spiritual, quieter time. It's funny, the season invites us also to that different type of rhythm. And I love the idea of rhythms. I love the idea that when I'm working and I'm in a flow, I'm in a rhythm, right? And I try to guard and protect that rhythm during that time. And then there's a time for a different kind of rhythm, and that time and that rhythm of being active. But all of that gives us the opportunity to prioritize the inner work that we do. Another spiritual lesson of fall is embracing impermanence. Fall shows us that everything in life is temporary. The vibrant leaves eventually fade, teaching us to appreciate the present moment, right? So the leaves, when they fall, I had this plan, and we're going to do it anyways, but we're going to do it with fabric leaves and not real leaves. But I took a basket full of these leaves, and I thought, okay, it will be fun to do this exercise. And so I took the leaves, put them in a basket, and I thought, I'm just going to bring them and put them in my office so they have an opportunity to dry. Well, they got beyond dry. They dried out, and they're crunchy now. And so what I wanted to do with those leaves isn't possible, because we would have a mess in here if we were to use those leaves to do what I want that we're going to do. But as they dried, the vibrant of those leaves changed. So as the life left those leaves, they changed color. They presented something different to us. And the opportunity for us to be present in those moments, right? To be present in the moment of seeing that leaf. People travel back east to see the fall, to see the changes in color, right? We have beautiful color here that we see. There's one particular plant, I don't know what it is, but their leaves turn a vibrant red color. It's gorgeous. It looks like it's just glowing. It's so beautiful. But those are the opportunities for us to stay present, because that period of time only happens for a short, so it gives us a limited period to actually look at that and see what is happening. By accepting the transient nature of things, we cultivate gratitude and presence, knowing that nothing remains the same forever. Hence that phrase we've heard people tell us, this too shall pass. When we're in that difficult time, we're in that difficult point of release, this too shall pass. It's acknowledging that it's not permanent. The equinox of winter reminds us that there is a balance between lightness and dark. With the fall equinox making the balance between day and night, it reminds us to cultivate balance in our lives. Now, it's funny, when I moved up here 6 years ago, okay, I was 60. When I moved up here, I didn't really know. I mean, I heard about the equinox or the solstice, but I didn't really pay any attention to it, because it was usually associated, for my Christian background, it was usually associated with some type of paganism. So I was like, not going to even look into it or know what it's about. And then when I moved up here and becoming a little more broader and looking at things, I recognize what the equinox is and what the solstice is and the celebration of it. And recognizing, like, there's a day, I didn't know this, like there's 2 times in the year where there's actual split. That was a learning experience for me. And part of staying ignorant because of a religious background or religious teachings prevented me, didn't prevent me from doing anything. I could have made my own choice, but in my limitation of beliefs and wanting to I got to stay in this and not venture off into the weeds, as some people would say. So anyways, there's that opportunity. So it's a good time, as I said, when we're looking for that balance, right? Of balancing between that self-reflection. You could journal. Maybe journaling might help you in being able to write your things down. Sometimes it's better in a relationship, those things that you're thinking or feeling, to journal them rather than tell your partner. Because it may not necessarily be something they want to hear, or then maybe it's not be something that they're prepared to hear, or be in a place themselves to accept it, right? So journaling is a good place to do that. And I will say, be respectful if your partner is journaling. Be respectful of that privacy. Give them that privacy. And I only say that because I know of some people that are very adverse to journaling, because they've journaled in the past, and then the partner looks at the journal, and all of a sudden you've got issues going on. And so the one person that was having this practice doesn't do it anymore because they feel violated, because the things that they thought were being private and sacred to themselves are being taken advantage of. The next thing that we can learn is gratitude. We remember this at Thanksgiving when we gather our family together, to be grateful for the abundance, be grateful for what we have and what we're able to celebrate the feast. Fall is always associated with harvest festivals, symbolizing a time to celebrate and express the gratitude for the fruits of our labor. Spiritually, it's an opportunity for us to pause and reflect on what we've achieved and what we've learned. So it's not just about letting go of something, but it's also about recognizing that something has happened and give it gratitude, celebrate it, recognize the blessing of what it is. Even in some of this year's outcomes weren't exactly what we expected them to be, we can still look on things with gratitude. And the last thing that we learn is to have faith in the unknown. Faith in the unknown. As nature prepares us for winter, there is a faith that spring will return. Fall teaches us to trust the unseen and unknown processes unfolding beneath the surface, both in nature and in our spiritual lives. In challenging moments, this lesson reminds us to cultivate patience and faith in the journey ahead. That even when we can't see the outcome, we have faith. We see birds and squirrels. I'll say they harvest in the wildlife. They store up food for the winter. And they get ready, but they also know that spring is coming. That there is a cycle. There is a process to it. By observing the rhythms of the fall season, we can attune ourselves to these spiritual insights, nurturing a sense of peace, acceptance, and trust in life cycles. So, we're going to do something here. Do we have a basket we have a basket, and then there's some pins going to go around. And I'm going to go ahead and pass the baskets out now, and I'll tell everybody what we're going to do. So, I want you to take 2 leaves. 2 leaves. 1 leaf, you don't put your name on these, and there's going to be a Sharpie too that you can write on. 1 leaf, I would like to ask yourself, so we're going to take a little time of reflection, but I would like to ask yourself one of these 3 questions. What belief in yourself are you going to let go? Or maybe, what misconceptions about yourself do you denounce? Or maybe, what practices in your life are you wanting to let go? Now, I ask that you write with the marker, write on there what comes to your mind. And then we're going to collect those, and we're going to do something with them. I'm not quite sure whether we'll decorate them or something like that, but we're going to utilize those. No, I'm sorry, I've got this mixed up. We're going to let those go. So we're going to dispose of those in a trash bin and get rid of them, right? Then the other leaf that you have that you take, we're going to write down what you celebrate. So maybe it's a new relationship. Maybe it's a new understanding for yourself. Maybe it's one thing can be bad as well as good. Maybe it's the cycle of grief in which you're at the end of that cycle of grief and you're starting to see hope again. Those things we're going to collect. I'm going to ask you to come up and put them up here. Those things we're going to collect, and we're going to do something positive with that, whether it be put them on our tree or we're going to do something with those to celebrate that. So everybody know, you take 2 leaves. One leaf you're going to write what you want to let go of, and the other leaf, write what you're thankful for, what you're happy about. The second one is, what are you grateful for? What have you learned about yourself? What do you want to celebrate? Maybe what one word comes to mind? Could be abundance. Steph, do we have a trash can or something we can put up here for the stuff we want to let go of? And this is going to be the stuff we're going to keep. Thank you. And I think what I'll ask you to do is, if you've completed this way, I'll know how much time we or whatever. But if you've completed yours, you can come up and put what you're thankful for here and discard what you're not thankful for there.
Thankful up top,
Yep.
and then the other one, the other.
Yep. What you want to release. Keepers. Release down below. What you want to celebrate on top. Garbage. This is good, and that's not so good. That's what you want to release. Thank you. Good. Not so good. Oh, okay. I want one of those. This is what you're thankful for and what you want to release. So I need to share something with you. I wrote 2. And on here's what I was grateful for, which I'm grateful for the community, right? On this leaf, I wrote what I'm not grateful for. And literally the words disappeared. And I just feel like Spirit is just saying right now, like, what you're releasing is just gone. I had no idea that would happen. Thank you, God. This month I'll have 2 other talks that I'll be doing. One of them is, it is Native American Heritage Month, American Indian Heritage Month. And I'll be sharing some insights from a book that I read a few months ago. The that I'll be sharing. And then the other thing that I'm going to be sharing was a belief from my Christian background about the vine. Jesus taught a parable on the vine. And I was personally believed and was taught that the pruning of that vine was Jesus pruning. If you weren't in fellowship, or if you weren't a production, if you weren't fruit of that vine, that you would be pruned and released. And I've come to understand that meaning something completely different, and I want to share that with you all. So that'll be in a couple of weeks. Thank you, guys. I'm thankful for this community. I'm thankful for all of you here and those that are just coming and checking us out, giving us a chance. Thank you so much. Stay curious and be the blessing.
Well, along the lines of releasing, we're going to sing a song, I Release and Let Go. We've done it. I'm going to invite you to sing along on the chorus. I'm going to do a little verse in the beginning, and then we'll release. There was a time in my life I thought I'd have to do it all for myself. Didn't know the grace of God was sufficient. Didn't know the love of God was at hand. But now I can say, if you are discouraged, struggling just to make it through another day, you've got to let it go. Let it all go. And this is what you have to say. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life. And my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. You're welcome to stand up. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life. And my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Oh, yes, I'm only here for God. One more time. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life. And my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Woo! Yes, I'm only here for God. I am free in the Spirit. Oh, yes, I'm only here for God. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Still you.
That's right. I forgot. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. That threw me way off. It was, yeah. You know, it's like watching, you know, I can only imagine when, I forget who it was in the Bible, but saw the writing on the wall appear and being able to see the words just disappear. Whew, wow. Okay, this is our time of offering, and this is a time of celebrating the abundance that we have. this is an opportunity for us to support the work that we're doing here and the work that we want to continue to do. So, I would like you to consider a financial gift if you can at this time. If it's not an opportune time for you, that's okay, not a problem. But it is our time of sharing our gifts with intention. That intention creates energy, it creates a flow, it creates a response. And so we want to do that during this time. Let's see, we want to do our giving, our blessing. And so if you'll all join me in that blessing. Divine love in, through, and as me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I give and receive. Thank you. Okay, ushers.
Oh, Sandra, that is so beautiful. I swear it moves me to tears. Just beautiful. And Jeff, would you mind terribly if we blessed our offerings one more
Nope,
time?
absolutely.
And so I invite you to join me together with our love offering blessing. Divine love in, through, and as me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you so much. And Jeff, thank you so much for all of that about the spiritual lessons of fall. I love interactive experiences, so this, of course, I love completely. And I, too, use fall as a time of letting go. And oddly enough, throughout my life, it seems like some of the biggest losses and things I've had to let go of seem to take place in the fall. And there was a period of time where I didn't like fall because I always knew something bad was coming. But it turns out that you have to let things go to make room for spring, to make room for growth. So thank you so much. I appreciate so much what you're doing for us. And now it is time for some announcements and then our unity statement first. Let's do that first. Together, unity stands for peace in the presence of conflict, for love in the presence of hatred, for forgiveness in the presence of injury. Unity honors the many names for God, the many paths to God, to worship God, There is one power and one presence of God, and that God loves each one of us equally. It is therefore the position of unity to urge all nations, their leaders, and their people to turn to God by whatever name for guidance during these challenging times, and to pursue peace, not war. This is, thank you. It's correct there. And now it's correct there. And now it's, if there's any of you who are here for the first time, we welcome you. And if you are joining us online to our new ministry, we encourage you to sign up for our e-news to learn more about our upcoming workshops and events. And you can sign up for our email newsletter either out front or by going to the website at theunitycenter.org. We also would like to connect with you on our social media, Facebook and YouTube. Just search Unity Center of Spokane. And thank you so much for joining us today. I am your chaplain today, and I will be available to pray with you immediately after service if you need prayer. If you have something that is heavy on your heart or you would like to celebrate something, please come see me, and I will be at the prayer altar. Also, anyone who needs prayer, please fill out a prayer request form, and you can find those in the front pockets of your seats, and then you can place those in the prayer box in the back. You can also submit your prayer requests online. Yes, Lyle? It's over there. Thank you. And when you submit your prayers, we plus Silent Unity will pray for those for the next 30 days. And now it's time for some announcements. All right, first off, we want to say thank you so much to all of our volunteers who came out to make this celebration what it was. It was amazing. I was so impressed, not only with our volunteers, but also just with the whole celebration. There was so much about this that I did not know anything about, and I was just so pleased to actually be a part of this. So all of you who participated in this, who showed up, who helped make the empanadas, who helped make the cheese stuff and came early to decorate and stayed to clean up, oh, I love you guys. You're amazing. Thank you so much for that. Please give them a hand. All right, and then this month, our Intro to Unity will be November 24th. This is for anybody who wants to become a member and needs more information about what Unity is about. And if you are already a member and you just need a refresher, please feel free to join that group. That's hosted by our wonderful Unity licensed teacher, Dana Zoller, and she's amazing, and that's usually held right here afterwards, after service. All right, we have a Unity support circle, and this is for anybody who just needs a little extra support. Maybe you got a little something going on in your life and you can't really talk about it at home, so you just need a little circle of people who will respect your anonymity and love you through whatever you've got going on. This meets 2 times a month from 4 to 6 p.m., and it's usually here in this room. All right, Reverend David McClure, who has written a wonderful book, is going to be joining us for book review. And this is going to be the 2nd and 4th week of November. The first week will be part 1, Healing Threads. And we will be having soup and bread and then stay for book review. And if you're planning to do this, if you would talk to me or Jeff afterwards just to let us know that that's part of your plan, and let us know. The second week, part 2, is Guidance Threads, and we're very excited about this. So please come join this. If you're just here for soup and bread and maybe a little salad, that's fine. And then if you want to stay and join us, that's fine too. You're not obligated to stay for book review if you just want a snack. You don't have to do that. All right. We are having a Christmas party. Yay. This is going to be the 2nd week in December. I believe this is the 14th from 1 to 3. We have a wonderful guests that are going to be joining us, the Celtic Heirs, and you can see there's a picture of them, and this is going to be exciting. The center will provide drinks and games, And if you want to bring something to share as a treat, please do that. And we are still looking for volunteers to help with games and things on that day. We have 3 so far. And I would really appreciate if you guys would step up and not make me call you. Because I hate that. But I will. All right. Our kids are arriving.
Can I do my announcement?
Oh, yes, Sandra. Thank you so much. Please do.
For those of you who know, the Divas are back with 2 shows. For those of you who are new, I'm a producer on a show called What She Said, which is a concert of women singers. We do blues, Broadway, jazz, pop, and we carry on like crazy women, and we include the audience, and it's kind of cabaret style. We have 2 shows coming up, November 15th and 16th at the Hamilton Studio here in Spokane, and then we have a Christmas show coming up in December. I think it's 6th and 7th in Post Falls. I have hard copy tickets. I also have these wonderful little postcards that have QR codes on both sides for the show. You can go to that and it will tell you a little bit more about who we are and what we do. Some of you have been to our regular fans and come to our shows, and we appreciate it. So this will be 2 different shows running kind of right back to back. One Christmas and one the best moments that we're going to share from previous shows, and also stories about tales as a female performer, so that's going to be pretty funny. So please come and see me. I do have tickets, or come and get a postcard, and you can do it online. So thank you.
And these ladies bring down the house. So
do.
make sure that you're there. And let's welcome in our youth.
All right, just give me a second.
Work harder, or work smarter, not harder. Stephanie and Julie have been great at that today, especially Julie. I really appreciated her help today in the Sunday school room. So today we learned about the story of David and Goliath from the Bible, from Samuel. I think it was 17:2 or 1. I'll have to check my notes. But can you guys hold up the little story, what do you call those? Story wheels? Yeah. And I thought this was appropriate because I feel like, there's a lot of Goliaths out there. And we need to keep in mind our faith, have our faith and trust in God. So we talked about the meaning of this story, about this unexpected David that was just a shepherd boy keeping his sheep safe, and how he outsmarted Goliath and saved the Israelites in a war. So there's a lot more to the story, but the kids seemed to enjoy it. Some of them also just played around because they met new friends today. It was pretty cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
Wonderful. And then if you would join me in blessing our youth, please. Together, be the love you are, sing the song you hear, share your joy of life with people far and near, and for ourselves. Be the love you are, sing the song you hear, share your joy of life with people far and near. And now, kids, feel free to return to those who brought you.
Who brought you?
It is Birthday Sunday. So if you are having a birthday in November, would you please stand and let us celebrate you? And here we go.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, you're wonderful. Happy birthday to you.
Marvelous. So there is cake. So stay for cake. There's also empanadas. Ooh, and they're delicious, I know, because I helped make them. So please stay for that. And then if you would please rise now and join together for our peace song, after which we will have our prayer of protection.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator. Family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
And now we join in me in our prayer protection. The light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever we... Oh, yeah, it's not there. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well, and that's the truth.
Nothing is ever lost, and we are not forgotten. We are living in the heart of God. Nothing is ever lost, and we are not forgotten. We're living in the heart of God. We are living, we are living, we are living in the heart of God. We are living, we are living, we are living in the heart of God. Morning sun coming through the trees, the red leaves shimmer in the autumn breeze, the songbirds singing to the heart